our man Mark
Hey.
Jones, live from Las Vegas, Sacramento Kings play-by-play man. Of course, he's on the call for a variety of summer league games out there in Vegas. Mark, we appreciate you, man. Let's pick up right where we were at during the commercial break right there. The big kid from Stanford, man, Maxime, impressed a lot of people yesterday.
Yeah, he was even more skilled and versatile, I think, than a lot of people expected. I just got off the phone with Western Conference Scott a minute ago who said they were trying to get him into camp, but it sounds like and feels like that a bunch of teams who wanted to get a closer look at him and couldn't get him in because he was managed really well by whoever does his representation. It was really well engineered to get him to a place like Sacramento where he's going to thrive. And we saw some of that yesterday in the game where able to make plays for himself, able to make plays for his teammates, high basketball IQ, and versatility. And, in this new landscape of the NBA and seeing what works, you've got to be able to do a bunch of things. And he's going to add to the overall versatility of the roster. I think the only thing that he might need to work on at this point is probably a little bit of his post-up game against NBA-type players. But that'll come. But, man, he showed some real flashes of brilliance yesterday.
Mark, real quick on what you talked about as far as, trying to kind of work his way to Sacramento.
Right.
How does something like that, you've been in the game, you talked to so many different people. How does something like that normally work? Is that because I'm sure Maxime isn't scouting the league himself and saying, I want to go to Sacramento. It's probably his representation saying, I think this is a good spot for you. And when he thinks that way, is that something that, maybe a GM like Scott Perry knows the representation and it's like, hey, talk to the guy and say, I think this is a good spot, and they work it out that way potentially.
That's where it helps to have a Scott Perry in your front office, somebody that has relationships, understands how to win the gray areas and the nuanced areas of representation and being able to position yourself as a team, as an organization to get a certain guy like that. Because, there are a lot of people around the league that felt that he was probably a bottom third first-round pick or maybe even a little bit higher. But he slipped to Sacramento, if you want to categorize it that way. And it's going to be a boon to this franchise. He's going to be a contributor. And, when you look at him and Neek Clifford, two older guys, right? And much like how there's a little bit of a trend right now across the league, being able to get older guys who can contribute right away. And, I think it's going to help Sacramento. And the advent of NIL has helped older guys stay in school. So now there's not pressure to come out as a 20-year-old or a 19-year-old. You can get that money and stay in college and develop and be a year closer towards being able to contribute immediately if you're getting drafted. And I think that's the scenario with Raynaud.
So, Mark, that first quarter kind of belonged to Max. That fourth quarter belonged to Neek. What'd you think of the first-round draft pick in the fourth quarter of yesterday's game?
Man, he was impressive, man. When you look at his size, his length, his ability to guard the ball, team defense, he checked a lot of boxes in my estimation last night. And, to be able to get on the floor for Doug early, he's going to be able to have to play defense and understand the scheme and understand rotations, understand being the low man and being up above the restricted area circle and all those things and the speed of the game. And I think I saw last night more than anything that he'll be a plug-and-play guy immediately, just like Maxime. From a really great family. He's hungry to play. I think we saw that last night. He's got a great support system. His parents were at every game he was playing in at Colorado State and even before that at Colorado. And, he's one of those ready-to-play now guys, too.
Yeah.
Mark, shot at 37%. So if Doug's going to stick to the, I want 43s a game, he's got a clip ready to go.
That's right. That's right. I like that. Shoot that thing, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Mark, shifting gears just a little bit to another area of the Kings last week. Shout out to Mark. He was tapped into D-Lo and KC. And he texted me, man, and he was talking about a conversation he had with somebody about Dennis Schroder, and having conversations. You've seen him pretty much his whole career. I think people are kind of undervaluing the player they're getting here in Sacramento and Dennis Schroder. Me and Damian, we really like his game, but I think there's a lot more than people realize to what Schroder has as a ball player.
Yeah. See, last year was really an aberration for Schroder. When you look at the fact that he was with 5 different teams within the span of a few months, that was just, I think, a function of not being a great fit in Golden State. And, spoke with one of their coaches who said that, Steve Kerr loved him. He loved him as a player. As a fit, it just didn't work for the Warriors. So he became part of that package that it landed him essentially in Detroit afterwards. But I think the thing that the Kings are going to really appreciate about Dennis is his leadership. He's able to take over games late at winning time and be able to run the show and show great control over the offense. He is a fierce competitor. And I think one of the things that Sacramento might have been in need of in previous years is a guy with a loose wire. And Dennis is fierce, and he's not afraid to curse out the guy on the other team or curse out the guy on his own team at times. And if you watched him play in the World Cup of basketball a couple of years ago, he got into it with one of his own players and one of his own coaches. And Dennis is very fierce, and it allows Doug now to play guys off the ball more than maybe he would want to, because if the ball is in Dennis's hands, then things usually end up in a good place for Sacramento, or they will.
See, but here's the thing, Mark, and we know you're on a tight schedule, so we're going to let you run, and I don't want to belabor this too much. Casey's right. I'm a big Dennis Schroder fan. Right. I'm a bigger Russell Westbrook fan. And I'm still of the belief this Sacramento Kings team needs another point guard, and they're trying to shoehorn these players into the point guard position when you can utilize them at other spots. Right. We know what the backcourt looks like. Do you think they need to keep some of these free agent options open and go look at another true point guard, the likes of Russell Westbrook or Campaign or some of the other guys that are out there?
Yeah, I think, man, we're going to find out a little bit more. I think in the next couple of games here at Summer League might tip the scales one way or the other in how Devin Carter plays. I know that Devin has been working really hard in the summertime. I'll tell you this. He called his father at the beginning of June, said, "Dad, let's train." They went to Phoenix and did basically a point guard boot camp for 3 weeks, like 2-a-days the first week, skill work after that, ball screen actions, skip passes to the corners, working on all that stuff. And his dad told me, my son never played point guard at Providence or before that at South Carolina. I need to teach him how to become a point guard. So that might take a little time. He's a pretty physically gifted guy, but you guys both know that point guards sometimes are more born than made.
That's it.
Not to say that it can't be done, but I think over the course of Summer League, him getting extended reps and trying to do that, that'll give, Scott and BJ Armstrong an opportunity to evaluate a little bit further. I personally think he can do it, but if it's as it is now, they might be working the phones for another point guard.
Okay. Mark, go get to work, man. You got a long day ahead of you. We appreciate you as always, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah. Looking forward hey, I got the Kings game on ESPN on Monday against Phoenix. We play Phoenix. Okay. So,
we tapped in. Mark Jones on the call. We tapped in.
I'll be turning that thing into a Kings infomercial. You already know.
Oh, baby. Let's go, baby. And he'll make his stops. They got a Louis Vuitton store.
Oh, yeah.
Every casino.
He's going to Caesars or he's going over to Ari, that whole area. He's going to check it out.
I had to do some retail therapy here in Vegas.
Hey. That's the move.
You guys keep up the great work, man. You're the best.
Appreciate you, Mark. Take care, man.
Thank you, brother. My man, Mark Jones. The amount of time